Even legendary icons weren't immune to the power structures shaping the music industry behind the scenes. 50 Cent is once again stirring conversation, this time addressing Oprah Winfrey's past connections to Diddy and raising questions about influential figures, media silence, and long-standing controversies tied to elite institutions abroad. As more stories resurface and public scrutiny grows, these claims are sparking intense debate and leaving many people questioning what really happened behind closed doors.
It's very important because throughout the years, Black artists have been taken advantage of completely. And it's time now that we have to put a stop to this incredible injustice. It's been, the record companies really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the Black artists.
Yeah. Now let me say this.
Sony Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola is the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very devilish.
We're listening to Mike right now. Obviously, this is a really sad time right now, but we're celebrating his life. Your thoughts right now on the situation and the timing of this tragedy?
Yeah, I mean, he just somebody that changed my life. You know what I'm saying? Somebody I'll always love and cherish.
Michael Jackson reached a level of success few artists will ever touch. Yet he remained fiercely independent within an industry driven by power and influence. Over the years, controversy followed him, even after courts dismissed accusations and cleared him legally. Despite those outcomes, Oprah Winfrey later gave a major platform to Jackson's accusers through a highly publicized documentary, reigniting allegations that had already been rejected in court. Critics argue this decision helped shape public perception rather than reflect legal truth, fueling debates about media responsibility, influence, and why certain figures continue to face scrutiny long after being cleared.
Find out the person you love is a monster. Like you sharing this information with me, even about Michael Jackson. Like, I don't want to believe you. I want to say it's the media. I want to say Oprah. Like, I want to say all of these things.
People were mad at Oprah.
I'm mad at Oprah.
They're mad at Oprah.
Yes, yeah. It's because I think the young Black boy who loved Michael Jackson wanted to be like, I don't want it to be true. I don't want, and I'm like, even, and that, again, it goes back to like, damn, are we just turning a blind eye because we had so much love for his talent and his ability?
Well, you said, where's the Surviving Harvey Weinstein documentary? Yeah. And there are actually like 2 of those coming.
No, but in that statement, the reason why I made that, and it, like, people, like, you can read into it however you want to make it.
Oprah publicly challenged Michael Jackson on national television, including comments about his appearance and identity that many viewers felt were unfair and insensitive. This was despite widespread knowledge that Michael suffered from a documented skin condition. While she often appeared friendly toward him in interviews, critics have long pointed out a contrast between those moments and how he was later discussed on her platform. To them, it felt like support in private, but skepticism in public, contributing to a narrative that consistently cast Michael in a negative light and kept controversies surrounding him alive.
Recently, there was a story, and I know one of your attorneys held a news conference. There was a story about you wanting to have a little white boy play you in a Pepsi commercial.
That is so stupid. That's the most ridiculous, horrifying story I've ever heard. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why? Number one, it's my face as a child in the commercial. Me when I was little. Why would I want a white child to play me? I'm a Black American. I'm proud to be a Black American. I am proud of my race. I am proud of who I am. I have a lot of pride in who I am and dignity. That's like you wanting an Oriental person to play you as a child. Does that make sense?
No.
So please, people, stop believing these horrifying
then
stories.
Let's go.
Okay, number one, this is the situation. I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help. Okay, but when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
So it is.
It's a problem for me, okay? I can't control it, okay? But what about all the millions of people? Let's reverse it.
Okay.
What about all the millions of people who sit out in the sun to become darker, to become other than what they are? Nobody says nothing about that.
So when did this start? When did the color of your skin start to change?
Oh boy, sometime after Thriller. Around Off the Wall, Thriller. Sometime
And what did you
around
think? I mean,
It's in my family. My father said it's on his side. I can't control it. I don't understand. I mean, it makes me very sad.
The allegations against Michael Jackson were later revisited and widely discussed on Oprah's platform, even after courts had dismissed the claims and no criminal guilt was established. For many fans and critics, this decision was deeply troubling. They question why accusations that failed under legal scrutiny were given renewed attention, arguing that it risked damaging Michael's legacy rather than presenting a balanced view. To them, offering such a platform felt less like journalism and more like reopening wounds around claims that had already been challenged and discredited in court.
For me, this moment transcends Michael Jackson. It is much bigger than any one person.
Oprah Winfrey opened up about her decision to speak to Michael Jackson's accusers for her After Neverland special when she stopped by The Daily Show on Wednesday night. Last month, Winfrey made headlines when she sat down with Michael Jackson accusers for Oprah Winfrey Presents After Neverland, which aired on HBO following the explosive documentary about the singer titled Leaving Neverland.
If they ever found out what we were doing, he and I would go to jail.
Winfrey said of her decision to do the special, "I haven't had that much hateration since I did the puppy episode with Ellen DeGeneres, aka the episode in which DeGeneres came out as gay." The talk show host continued, "But when I saw that documentary, I realized that a lot of people are going to be triggered by watching it, and a lot of people will not understand what the pattern is." Winfrey explained, "People call it molestation, but there is a big seducing that goes on, and that was important enough for me to take the hateration."
Listen closely to how Oprah spoke about Michael over the years. Many viewers have pointed out a pattern of skepticism and distance that stood in contrast to the way she treated other powerful figures in entertainment who later faced serious scrutiny. Critics argue that Michael, as one of the most independent and uncontrollable figures in pop history, never fit neatly into the industry's power circles. From that perspective, they believe his legacy was judged more harshly, not because of proven wrongdoing, but because he refused to play by the same rules or submit to outside influence.
She's been getting a lot of hate. Some of the tweet hate that Oprah's been getting, if karma is real, Oprah, after you are laid to rest, which is, I hope, many years from now, people will come out of the woodwork and lie on you, betray you, smear your name the way they're doing Michael Jackson, and the people that you let in your inner circle will lead the way. Oprah, you are disgusting, a cheap mercenary.
Ooh. The reason the idea of Michael Jackson or any major person committing sexual abuse against children challenges so many people is because in every family you have to face that some things are not the way they appear to be. And what people need to accept in their own families is that people can do good things, they can be loving and helpful, and also be an abuser and a person who does bad things. Both can be true. And we are experiencing this paradox as a reckoning in our country every day in the news, where both things can be true.
Yeah, she's right about that. Both things can be true. You can have somebody who appears to be very nice in the front and be evil behind closed doors. You know that. And that's what she's saying.
Oprah's past associations with powerful figures like Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and Diddy have been widely discussed and documented through public appearances and industry events. At the time, many of these relationships were portrayed as professional or friendly, reflecting how interconnected elite circles in entertainment often are. However, after allegations against Weinstein became public, critics noticed a clear shift, with Oprah distancing herself and emphasizing that she was unaware of his behavior. To some observers, this raised uncomfortable questions about accountability, selective outrage, and how quickly influential figures can rewrite their own narratives, especially when the consequences threaten reputations. For them, it underscores how easily power can be used to shape public perception and damage others while avoiding scrutiny themselves.
But you haven't kind of spoken yet publicly about what's going on.
I think that this is, I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, whatever is the silver lining. And this is what I do know for sure. When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment. And what I do believe is actually happening is that, first of all, it's triggering a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger, guilt, and suffering that a lot of women have had. I happened to be on set with several actresses the other day, and we were filming some things, and they hadn't slept over a period of 2 or 3 days, and I was like, what is that? I said, oh, you guys are suffering from PTSD.
And when you start talking about it out loud, too. when you haven't
Everybody
talked
has
about
a
it.
story. Everybody
Yeah.
has a story. And so I think this is a watershed moment. I think this is a moment where no matter what business you work in, there have been women who not only had the disease to please, that's a part of it, but who felt that in order to keep my job, in order to keep my position, in order to keep moving forward, I've got to smile, I've got to look the other way, I got to pretend he didn't say that, I got to pretend he didn't touch me. I think those days are about to be over.
Are over. And if it happens to you back in the day, you would say, sometimes you're not even aware what he just said, was it really inappropriate?
I know you've had a couple moments.
Where you just think, what did he just say?
Yes, I remember Gail had a moment when she came and said to me what somebody said to her was so inappropriate. I was like, oh my God, you can sue over that. But
no, and all I said was, what did you say? And then they repeated it.
Yes.
It's terrible. I just sat there typing with my 20-something-year-old.
Pretend you didn't hear it.
Yes.
You pretend it's okay. You pretend you didn't.
No, it isn't. You're right, Jeff. Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
But a lot of women have been silenced, and I know.
But I do think it's going to change.
Being a victim of child sexual abuse, that when you feel like you cannot be heard, and then other people start speaking out, it makes you feel like, oh, now I can speak out too.
Yeah.
So,
You've been speaking about it for years.
Is it really just coincidence that Oprah has repeatedly been associated with powerful figures who later faced serious allegations, while publicly positioning herself as firmly opposed to those kinds of crimes? Critics argue this pattern raises fair questions about judgment, proximity of power, and how influence works in elite circles. At the time, many of these relationships were presented as professional or friendly. Yet when scandals surfaced, clear lines were quickly drawn. For some observers, that contrast feels unsettling and fuels debate about accountability, selective distance, and whether proximity to powerful people comes with unspoken compromises.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay. When you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, they're trying to kill me.
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
Comedian Dave Chappelle left tens of millions of dollars on the table when he walked away from his popular Comedy Central show. A lot of people wondered what the hell was he thinking? That's a quote. Chappelle says or whether he was thinking. A lot of people ask that question. Chappelle says he had a crisis of conscience and stood up for his integrity as an artist. He explained to us how stepping out of the spotlight helped him avoid getting caught in a trap.
It's so much bigger than money, though, Dave. It's so much bigger than money.
Oh, no, it was bigger than money. But you know what? I watched one of these nature shows one time, and they were talking about how a bushman finds water when it's scarce. And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently, baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole, and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt. Salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now, if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. Baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty. The bushman lets him out the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water. The bushman follows him, and they both drink to their fill. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboon. But I was smart enough to let go of the salt.
Isn't that a great analogy?
What an analogy.
I know. He's very, very thoughtful and very, very smart.
For years, critics have argued that money and influence sit at the center of how power operates in the entertainment industry. From this perspective, Oprah is often portrayed as someone deeply aligned with wealth, elite access, and the systems that reward compliance. Supporters of Michael Jackson believe his independence made him an outlier, someone who couldn't be pressured, steered, or shaped to fit expectations. They argue that this refusal to conform is why he faced relentless scrutiny, while others who played along were protected or elevated. The same concerns are often raised when people look back at Dave Chappelle's decision to walk away from a massive deal years ago. At the time, many mocked or questioned his choice, including influential voices in the industry. But as conversations about control, contracts, and creative freedom have evolved, some now view his decision differently, not as self-destruction, but as self-preservation. To these critics, the common thread isn't conspiracy, but power. Who has it, who resists it, and who pays the price for saying no.
All of them, any of them who had actually been harmed, to please come.
Oprah faced serious criticism after abuse allegations surfaced at the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa in 2007 and again in 2009. Reports claimed that school staff engaged in inappropriate behavior towards students as young as 12 and 13, leading to investigations and dismissals. While Oprah herself was not accused of direct involvement, critics argue that as the founder and public face of the school, she was responsible for oversight and protecting the girls in her care. The controversy raised lasting questions about accountability, power, and how influential figures respond when abuse occurs within institutions tied to their name.
Because you know he was running with Oprah and them. He was running with that whole crew. Weinstein, Oprah, Epstein. He was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce, well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support him. Because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z, we the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff, but you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or come forward and say, I support him.
The idea that there are sexual predators in power, not just in Hollywood, I think all across any place there's a boss with underlings in any corporation or any industry, you have a type of sexual politics that goes on that can slide in between appropriate ethics and decorum to inappropriate behavior to the point of harassment and sexual predatory behavior.
Well, I mean, I think people understand that, but the larger question is there a culture of complicity in Hollywood where women are afraid to speak up because they'll be blacklisted, men are afraid to speak up because either they're out of the same fear or they just think, well, this is the way the system works.
I think there are people that say, hey, this is how it works, pure and simple, and this is why I got into it, and this is why I have power. This is how it works, and you have to understand that. That does not carry the day. Complicity is also complicity. The people who know, well, look, this is how we do business, and that's what it's got to be done. I'm sorry it's like that. So beware. That's also present, without a doubt, but it does not carry the day. There's also people that were afraid to speak out, who were victims, that did not go forward, that signed, negotiated settlement deals of which a non-disclosure agreement was part and parcel to it. That also does not carry the day.
But the world we're in right now, it's really hard for y'all to discern what's real and what's true, you know? And I've been seeing y'all memes and stuff. People be making memes.
I see the memes. I said, no, some of that stuff is funny. Some of it's funny. But I haven't addressed any of this publicly, but I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all them memes. I can stop all of that. I ain't been nowhere near no damn freak off. Listen, I do enough of my own. Don't be putting me in other people's. I ain't been nowhere near that, man. I ain't did none of that stupid. So, whenever y'all hear it, if somebody say that, it's a damn lie. I don't even like baby oil. That's not funny. but I haven't said that publicly. I just said y'all the first time. I usually don't respond to dumb stuff because it's like people. It's so many things people say, so much stuff. But you know that one, it was your memes was doing too much. Y'all was having me mad.
Do it right.
Yeah.
I know
He did it.
you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now, and then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
Was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what was going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal.
If you're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them,
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way, like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up.
I don't got that in my past. I'm not.
Everybody got a little bit.
Look,
Like, not that it's real enough. But
I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better. For her to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink so she forget what the happened. What the fuck is going on here, bro?
I took a pill.
Yes, I took the drink. I gave me the fucking drug to perform. So she can remember and possibly love me for that.
Did it work?
What the fuck? Yo, bro, look, I'm doing pretty good. Like, I'm pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just saying, this is the opposite of normal shit that we're talking about, bro.
That is why. I don't know why it's so hard for people
So
to just
for people to
acknowledge
feel
weird
like
shit is
you
weird.
would have something or you would have reserved energy because you feel like you was doing it too, this is people that are looking on separation between their hardships or their the things that they got going on that would be issues and what a celebrity's issues would be.
Wait, what does that mean?
They think all celebrities are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right, and when you see, if I wasn't saying anything, guess what? You could safely say that a person on the outskirts that is not involved in hip-hop culture could think that everybody in hip-hop culture is with that shit.
Former boss of the fashion giant Abercrombie and Fitch and his British partner have been arrested on charges of running a prostitution and international sex trafficking business following a 2-year-long BBC investigation. The FBI began looking into the claims that Mike Jeffries and his partner Matthew Smith sexually exploited and abused men at events they hosted in their New York residences and hotels around the world. Lawyers for both men and a third man who's been arrested have previously denied any wrongdoing. They'll appear in court on Friday. Rihanna Croxford broke the story that led to the FBI's initial investigation. Here's her report.
Mike Jeffries, the mogul behind a global fashion brand. His vision made billions for Abercrombie and Fitch, drawing in teenagers with provocative ads like these. He stepped down in 2014 after running the company for 2 decades. He's now facing criminal charges.
As scandals involving major names continue to surface, many people are re-examining old interviews, warnings, and patterns that were once ignored. With 50 Cent repeatedly calling attention to these issues over the years, Rowan scrutiny has fueled the sense that long-protected institutions are finally being challenged. To many observers, it feels like the industry is entering a reckoning phase where influence no longer guarantees silence, and more truths may still come out.